Let's start with some of the most basic functions that exist in Excel. I'm here on the Basic Math tab of the workbook, and what I have here is a big long list of sales transactions that happened for my company during the year. You can see that there are over 800 line items here, and we're going to perform a few basic functions over in column N right here. So the first function is just the sum function, which adds up numbers. Type equals sum, and then we'll select this whole column to get our total revenue for the year. Press enter and we get 782,180. The sum function also works if you want to select non-adjacent cells. So we'll come here and select this. You can press a comma and then select another cell. You can also hold the control button and select as well. And then that will give you the sum for the cells that you select. The average function does exactly what you would think and calculates an average of the numbers that you select as well. So here we'll come and do the average, and let's maybe do the average of this quantity field just for fun, and we get 29. A count will give you the specific number of instances that you have. One thing to keep in mind, the count function only works for numbers. So if we type equals count, if we selected these two cells right here, the quantity and the 86, it's only going to return a 1 because it's counting the cells that contain numbers in it. If we come here and do another count for all of column J, it's going to come up with 802 because that's how many rows there are that contain a specific number. You'll notice that I highlighted this column right here, and down here in the status bar, you're seeing an average, a count, and a sum of the numbers that I highlighted. That count is 802 right there, just like we saw in our function. So if you don't want to create a specific function in a cell, you can highlight cells and just look at that status bar and see the various metrics. The next function that we have here is called count A. And count A actually counts the number of non-empty cells. So using our example again, if we just select these two cells right here, count A is going to give us the count of 2 because we have 2 non-empty cells. If, for example, we added a row right there and said count A and selected these 3 cells, we're still going to get a 2 for the result because this is an empty cell. If we type something here, let's use the shortcut Windows period to bring up an emoji keyboard. And if we just add an emoji right there to that cell, even though it's not a number and it's not a word, it's still going to count that because it's not empty. So we'll delete that. So count A can be important if you're wanting to count text in addition to numbers, whereas if you just want to focus on numbers, you would use the count function. Another thing to note is you can combine functions within each other. So let's look at an example of that using the count A function. There's a function called unique that returns all the unique values in a range. So let's say we wanted to get a list of unique customers right here. Typing that in, Excel created this list right here outlined in blue of all the unique customers that we have. If we wanted to count that, we could add a count A function to the beginning of that and close the parentheses, and that's going to give us 29. So there are 29 unique values within our data set. The unique function is a function that I cover in the data cleanup section of the course. Finally, the last 2 functions are min and max. They do exactly what you think they would do. They return the minimum value from a range. So we'll select column K again, and 25 is the lowest value that's in here. And then if we type max, we come and see that 3465 is the highest number in our data set. So these are very basic functions, but they're at the heart of what most people will do in Excel.